So I was sick over the weekend and I log online to find out what the hell has been going on, and my god, it's 2024. Moog survived the allegation and Dr. Disrespect did not. We're truly living in a twilight zone. Alright, for those of you who are not caught in the loop, Dr. Disrespect is this massive streamer that you should at least be aware of. If you're not, good for you. You are not as terminally online as the rest of us are. But he's an immense online personality that more or less like capitalized on his amazing production values when it came to streaming. You know the stuff that the likes of Kai Cenat are doing today with his Radahn costume? Well, the dog was doing that way before and did that whilst playing online shooters, which was pretty impressive. And I've gotta say, despite his actions here, I find the guy to be truly entertaining and quite charismatic. Or at least I should say did, because all of this kind of changed in 2019. Because during one of the perhaps last E3s that we got to witness, he was suddenly banned off of Twitch, leaving all of us none the wiser, and Twitch never truly explained why the ban was for. And you know, it's Twitch. You can have people literally poking on screen and they will just get a slap on the wrist. It doesn't mean much to Twitch. People just tend to get time off for showing their ass or scamming people, stealing money from folks, gambling. So Twitch is rather loose when it comes to those things. So if somebody actually gets banned, then you know that something has to be serious. But no explanation was ever given. You had some news outlets, you had the likes of Slasher, who had reported on that. Slasher is like a popular esport journalist turned leaker turned analyst. And because there are levels of journalism, you know, you have the Dexterotype, you have IGN, Kotaku, those who tend to fire off a bunch of stories, sometimes without actually knowing what the f they're talking about, and those who actually want to have some integrity by having primary sources to back up their claims. He was kind of ridiculed for not straight up spilling the tea. However, later that month, his account was reinstated with no issues to be found. However, were there any justification for what the ban actually happened? None whatsoever, so we were still in the dark. With that said though, the dog kind of started changing a little bit leading into 2020, as he more or less turned into a crystal mom.
Anyways, I bought a whole bunch of shungite.
And mind you, plenty of memes were made about Dr. Disrespect before, like you had a whole thing with his wife that got literally turned into a meme, this whole thing about transparency, and of course, the crystals.
Rocks. Do you know what shungite is?
Oh no, they are called shungites.
Like
rocks,
stones that protect against frequencies and unwanted frequencies that may be traveling in the air.
Yeah. He became such a freaking meme because he turned into like 5G conspiracies, which later on turned into anti-vax theories. A lot of weird stuff started happening with the guy. So like very much like the Drake and Kendrick beef, the whole thing happening right now in 2024 was not exactly new. Conspiracies about what the hell was going on with him had already been sparked. This whole situation about that one single ban had people creating so damn many theories that were wilder than the Kennedy assassination, wilder than I recently found out that Pentagon ran a secret anti-vax campaign to undermine China because essentially China said that the COVID pandemic started in the US, so much like getting a slap in the face, the US decided to burn down a house. Wow. But anyways, fast forward to 2024, what was kind of allegations turned into something that was a little bit more credible with the release of some leaks that were made by this character, I love saying that word, this former Twitch employee, Cody Connors, who claimed, allegedly back then, that he got banned because he got caught sexting a minor in the then existing Twitch Whisper product. He was trying to meet up with her at TwitchCon. The powers that could be read it in plain text. Case closed. Now, this is the news that made this whole thing resurface, and with Jake Locke commenting on this, Dr. Disrespect, of course, replied, saying that, Jake, seriously, I get it. It's a hot topic, but this has been settled. No wrongdoings was acknowledged, and they paid out the whole contract. This It's a weird response to say the least, and especially in the climate that we found ourselves in, where in 2024, not only have we had a hell of a lot of celebrities who have allegedly and or confirmed been seen as predators, from BBL Drizzy to P. Diddy to now Dr. Disrespect. It's like every single day new accusation about some awful, popular internet figure just comes off who just cannot leave kids alone. And I heard the insane amount of copium for especially people who are supportive of the dog, which again, as I said, as an entertainer, I can understand the guy, but let's not let our parasocial relationship with a content creator affect the way that their morals actually are. Like when you're defending somebody using the laminated statues from Transformers Age of Extinction, then you know that something is wrong.
How old are you?
20.
She's a 17-year-old girl. This is illegal. She's a minor.
We're protected by the Romeo and Juliet laws.
We dated for a little while. I was a sophomore and he was a senior. It's fine.
No, it's not fine.
We've got a pre-existing juvenile foundational relationship. Statute 2705-3.
What? Texas statute?
Oh my God.
Because in the same light that a YouTube essayist called Jay Arbery made a video recently on the myriad of kick streamers who cannot keep the grubs away from underage people, you cannot take allegations like that not seriously. And in the same light, of course, would it be if they were false. Like, you cannot treat them as a minor inconvenience. No pun intended there. But anyways, the day after, the dog made another tweet saying that, listen, I'm obviously tied to legal obligation from the settlement with Twitch, but I just need to say what I can say since this is the effing internet. I didn't do anything wrong. All this has been probed and settled. Nothing illegal, no wrongdoing was found, and I was paid. Again, this is a strange way of responding to things because something might not be illegal, but still be morally wrong. Like when a character like Johnny freaking Somali shows up in Israel and starts fondling 16-year-olds. It is the legal age of consent that he points out himself, but that doesn't make it right that he lies about his age and he's literally doing what he's doing.
How old are you?
I'm 16.
I'll take both of you. I don't go. I'll go to jail. I go to jail. I got wife number 1 and wife number 2. I don't give a.
Alas, for the sake of fairness and of course good journalism and the need of having prime sources, and from what we also learned recently with the case of Corey Harris, it's important to sometimes wait and see, right? We are not guilty to proven innocent. After all, for sometimes some evidence might pop up, or even the culpable individual might reveal things themselves, and this is exactly what happened today. And it read as such: hello, I'd like to make a quick statement. Let's cut the fucking bullshit. As you've known, there are no filters with me. I've always been upfront and real with you guys on anything that I can be upfront about, and I'm always willing to accept responsibility, which is why I'm here now. First and foremost, I do want to apologize to everyone in my community and as well as those who are close to me, my team and everyone in Midnight Society Game Studios. Now this of course is off the cuff of him being removed from the video game studio that he was supposedly going to be working with for a long time. What could have been his backup plan if, I guess, streaming on Twitch was no longer a thing. However, there have been, at least I saw one video of him reacting to that, like receiving a text or something, which some people at least are alleging was the moment that he realized that he was being removed from that, or I'm saying removed, fired. However, this is not quite how he is framing this. As he says, a lot of people had been left in the dark about what happened yesterday with Midnight Society and we made a painful decision collectively to have me step down. Again, as I said, this is not exactly what Midnight Society reacted to. As the CEO himself stated, this is a statement from me personally, it does not reflect any of my companies and has not gone through any legal or PR approvals. If you inappropriately message a minor, I cannot work with you, period. I promise to only act on fact and I did. So now back to disrespect and the important part here. Everyone has been wanting to know why I was banned from Twitch, but for reasons outside of my control, I was not allowed to say anything for the last several years. Now that 2 former Twitch employees have publicly disclosed the accusations, I can now tell you my side of the story regarding the ban. Now, was there Twitch whisper messages with an individual back in 2017? The answer is yes. Now, I want you to notice this. The text here writes individual, and it's rather interesting because this has been altered. Because in the non-altered tweet, this is not an individual that is wrote here, it is a minor. Yeah, sitting on that a little bit like Kendrick Lamar recently did during Juneteenth. Absolutely brutal. But he continues here. Were there real intentions behind his messages? The answer is absolutely not. These were casual, mutual conversation that sometimes leaned too much into the direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more. Nothing illegal happened, no pictures were shared, no crimes were committed. I never even met the individual. Now, this sounds like somebody who really needs to protect themselves from legal reasons, because while reading this the first time, the first thing that stuck out to me was, if you are accused of such thing, the one thing that you might want to clarify is, what was the age of the person? Did you know how old she was when you wrote those messages? And the lack of that not being mentioned kind of have us leaning into the possibility of, yes, you knew this, you were engaged in it. Now again, if we want to be fair, we could assume that there was something on Twitch's part, some legal protections on the part of the victim because it's a minor, we don't want to expose them for their own sake, that he was not at liberty to speak about this. But man, it's weird. And then again, that's the reason why I brought the John Somali kind of situation there, because there might be something that says that, oh no, the age was actually legally right for whatever was planned, which is still gross. It was nothing like a meeting or anything actually physically happening. But you know, it kind of sounds like a response that any of those predators will say to Chris Hansen, you know, it feels weird. So he continues, I went through a lengthy arbitration regarding a civil dispute with Twitch, and that case was resolved by a settlement. Let me be clear, it was not a criminal case against me, and no criminal charges have been brought against me. Now, from a moral standpoint, I absolutely take responsibility. I should have never entertained this conversation to begin with. That's on me. That's on me as an adult, a husband, a father. It should have never happened. I get it. I'm not perfect and I'll fucking own my shit. Now, whether you believe the sincerity of Dr. Disrespect's word is gonna come down to how much you like the doc or do not. I like him as an entertainer, but as I said and he himself stated, that is morally abhorrent. He should not have even entertained those thoughts to begin with. But something that sticks out a little bit weird here, is when he said that he is going to own his shit. This feels a little bit retroactive, like the facts caught me, so I'm going to respond accordingly. Like, right, there was a settlement, and I understand that it was both in his and Twitch's best interest that this information did not come forth. But as he has displayed in the past with the situation with his wife, not getting into details of that, it's in the past already, but he was very upfront about what he did. So why would he not do that here, especially if this was not intentional, especially if he had realized his mistake and really wanted to move on from this situation. And of course, with the end of the tweet here, he wants to make some clarification. Now, with all this said, don't get it fucking mistaken. I've seen all the remarks and label being thrown around so loosely. Social media is a destruction zone. I am no fucking predator or pedophile. Are you kidding me? Anyone that truly knows me fucking knows where I stand on those things with those types of people. He continues clarifying the relationship with his team, the community that he has built up, and how he's sorry. And he appreciates greatly the people who want to stick around with him and understand for those who do not want. And he says here, finally, if you are uncomfortable with this entire statement and think I'm a piece of shit, that's fine. But I'm not fucking going anywhere. I'm not the same guy that made these mistakes all those years ago. I'm taking an extended vacation. I'm sorry, I'm still thinking about the rocks. Shungite, sorry. I'm not the same guy that made these tweets all those fucking years ago. I'm taking an extended vacation with my family as mentioned on stream, and I'm coming back with a heavy weight off my shoulders. They want me to disappear? Yeah, fucking right. I don't understand why people always write this. Like, they want me to disappear. People are quite simply calling you out for having made what is considered to be a morally heinous act. That's all what this is about. You should own up to it. It's not cancel culture calling you out for doing such a thing. And also, he's going on vacation. It's a weird way to tackle the situation. Like, it's just gonna disappear once you come back. Hopefully he does really own up to this and does not suddenly like bust an ukulele and do an even worse apology. But as it stands, the thing that were alleged came true, right? Messages were made to an underage person. He has not denied knowing that she was underage, and yeah, those allegations were true. Whatever else was alleged about the guy that of course have not had any substantial evidence should be disregarded. Of course. But until then, the fallout of this situation is largely going to lean on whether or not a lot of people who support the doc are very much leaning into the whole culture war bullshit of, oh no, they're trying to cancel him. But like, come on, literally. The dude did what he did. Now, I'm largely covering a story like this because a person that is as charismatic as he, who has all the wealth in the world yet still does something like that, is kind of scary. Like, I don't understand what it is with influencers today who can literally stay in their lane doing normal shit with the wealth that they've amassed, but always turn crazy. It bothers my mind. This is just like a reminder of like, be critical of even your heroes, okay? Don't idolize anybody. We are all full of flaws and we should be criticized on the things that we do. Even me, who is reporting on this thing right now. That being said, I'd like to know your opinion on the matter. Leave it in the comment section below. That's my girlfriend and my daughter messing with the cats, and I'm heading to take care of my family and have a great day.